Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the official launch for your upcoming council elections. It's exciting for me to be here. Exciting to support your Northern Beaches independent team as we head towards the upcoming council elections. I'm not running, so just relax. It's okay. I'm just one of your co-hosts tonight, and I'm here because I'm a big supporter of grassroots campaigns and the power of people to get involved in their community and really create change at a community level, making sure that the decisions that affect us are conducted and implemented by the people within the community, because locals really do matter. I've been a broadcaster for about 20 years and I've been into politics, I'd probably say for the last decade or so. Dipping my foot in and out of the political process, but I'm really excited tonight to help launch your Northern Beaches independent team as we head towards the council elections and learn tonight a little bit about those candidates who are running. Now, over the years, I've had some charismatic, some brilliant, some attractive co-hosts, and tonight, here's another one of them. He is a councillor who's been there for over 10 years, and in fact, he's your mayor. Welcome to the stage, the virtual stage. It is the mayor, Michael Regan. Michael, thanks for joining us tonight. He's standing by. Sorry, he's in the green room right now. There he is there. Sorry, we didn't get his rider in time, so he was having a little hissy fit, but he has finally joined us. It's not Osher Ginsberg. No, it's Michael Regan. Mate, it's an exciting night. It's a great opportunity to meet the team for this year's campaign.
It is, mate, and thank you for that introduction. I heard most of it, and then I got kicked out. I love technology, and it's great times that we live in with Zoom and whatever the heck it is we're in and stuff. But hey, thank you so much for joining us, mate. It's a big deal for you to give up your evening for us, so I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people watching at home, and obviously they'll have a lot of questions, but most of them are here to find out a little bit about what your Northern Beaches independent team is all about and see some of the faces and some of the names that we're going to reveal. From your perspective, why is it important to have an independent team running in the election, and what do they offer to the community?
Mate, it's a really good question, and it's sometimes harder to explain to people who sort of use that two-party preferred system and the brand Liberal, brand Labor, etc., and so forth. And for us, particularly the local government level, where we have the most impact on people's lives, I guess what we set out to do is make sure that we represent the community first and foremost. We live in the community, we represent our community, and that's our entire basis, I guess. And so it's to work with the government, not against, and it's to not be a slave to the government or an enemy of the government. Because, it doesn't matter who's in power. Sometimes you've got a federal Labor government and a state Liberal government, and you've got to work with both. And that's the best part about independence, is we can work with both. And it's, as I said, not best to not be a slave or an enemy, just to work with for the best results for your community. And only independents can do that.
Yeah, and for people who aren't that familiar, they might know your name because you're the mayor, or they might know some of the councillors. What are some of the things that your Northern Beaches independent team stands for? What would be the things that you would tell people that this is what we're about?
Yeah, I think there's probably four key things that we talk about, and it's and we started off, I guess, very much about putting our community first into decision making. That was where we all sort of started from, because we felt that they weren't being listened to or being dictated to. That's where it sort of all began, probably over a decade ago now. It was about supporting local businesses, because a fun fact is that majority of, I think something like nearly 80% of the residents live and work on the Northern Beaches. And we've got the highest percentage of small businesses and micro businesses in the country. And that's a big deal on this. And so that was another genesis of it. And enhancing the quality of our life. And that's like just looking after the basics, the facilities, and enhancing them. And then once we got ourselves in a position to build it. But we're surrounded by the natural beauty of our area, the environment, and that's what we all live here for. It's what we love, the bush, the beach, and how do we protect and enhance that and just get on with doing what we need to do. And, climate change has come on big in the last 10 or 15 years. We're seeing those storms more frequently now and more severe, just as was predicted back 10, 20 years ago. And yeah, so it's been a really interesting journey on that sort of stuff, because the environment sort of wraps around all those things that we do.
And I guess people who are familiar with your Northern Beaches independent team, what would you tell them about what you've managed to achieve in the time that you've been a councillor and as mayor with your team?
Yeah, look, it's been a fascinating journey, starting obviously firstly with Warringah, and now we're one council, the three councils into one, and putting that council together has been a very difficult challenge. There's been three very different cultures, all similar goals, wanting to make our area better. So there was a good sort of synergy there, I guess, and that's been our role, is to put that together, and we've achieved a lot. We're one of the highest performing councils now in the state, if not the country. We're leading on things like economics and value in terms of the way we run, like a business, as opposed to just the often criticised public sector. We run it like a business, and with a lot of community input. And I think one of the best achievements is just getting on with doing stuff and just getting on doing it. Like the environment stuff is really important. Working with the government, leading them on the journey, and that's been great. The state government comes to us for advice now, and comes to us to work with them on policy, and that's huge. Whether it's so it's very exciting.
You talked about getting input from the community, so I imagine it's a pretty consultative approach that you guys take. Can you tell us about how you come up with that and what that looks like?
Yeah, look, it's been really interesting because a lot of people complain that, I didn't know this was happening or that was happening and stuff, and that's fair enough. And now it's so harder with all the communication channels. It's not just email, it's websites, it's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's all these different forums and platforms. We don't have a local paper like we used to back in 2008 when I started. So it's gone. So it's online now, I guess. So there's so many different challenges about how we communicate. And so but there's so many great people in the community who just want to give back a bit of time, and they want to be part of that decision-making process. So we have something called a strategic reference group, which we set up, and it's a bit unique to other councils. It's not a committee as such, and it's a work in progress, and it's constantly evolving. And I think we've had some great results with it from our environment committee, from our economics committee. It's been really fascinating to watch them evolve and really shape the way council goes, and it's brought a high level of customer satisfaction out there in the community as a result, because we're not in the news for the wrong reasons. We're there, we're just getting on with doing stuff, and we make our mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're not perfect, but we own them, and we learn from them. And by and large, we're getting a lot of things right because we are being consultative and we're diverse in opinions. But there's so many cool experts out there in our community, and I get to be alongside a lot of them and just learn from them. It's amazing. I'm very grateful.
For a lot of people, I think council elections are probably the unwanted stepchild of the electoral cycle. If we put it that way. Yep. They're the Commonwealth Games. If the federal election are the Olympics, the local council elections are the Commonwealth Games. Tell us how challenging it's going to be this time around. December 4 is the date, how people need to vote, and exactly how we're going to do it this time around with COVID restrictions.
Mate, it's a bit like scissors, paper. It's at the moment, it's going to be normal. So as of today, it's normal. We're going to be lining up at the booths, probably socially distanced or physically distanced, I think is the new term, physically distanced, to be safe. Whether we're handing out papers or something like that, we don't know. There's a bit of a push for postal voting and for electronic voting. But at the end of the day, we just have to assume it's going to be pretty much the same as it's always been. But it's because it's COVID, we can't get out there and campaign like we normally would. So this is why we're doing things online. This is why we're ramping up our presence across these platforms, just so that people know that there is an alternative to the major parties. That we've got a pretty good track record, and we'd like to continue building on that.
Now we've got 15 candidates running, is that right? In 5 different wards. Each ward, I guess, represents a certain area of the beaches, the peninsula. And we're going to meet all the candidates tonight. That's what tonight's about, not just having a great moment to launch this campaign, but also getting an insight into who's representing us. If you're watching at home as well, we're going to have a lucky draw as we go through all the different wards. So stick around. You might be able to win yourself a voucher to something, which will be a nice little treat during this challenging time. But before we do that, why don't we go actually to our first ward, Michael, and if you can tell us a little bit about the people running in each ward. We're going to start with Pittwater, parts of Terry Hills to Mona Vale, all the way up to Palmy. And you've got a great little team there for the Pittwater ward.
Yep. Oh, the Pittwater ward. Where do we start? Well, I guess we start with Michael Dencher. He's an amazing human in public relations and communications. Surf Life Savings, where I met him, Mona Vale there, community sport in general. Very active father of, I'll let Michael tell you how many kids. Fantastic, but a lot. And a very busy man, particularly in these times. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is his thing. He can tell you about that. Then we've got Sarah Turnbull, an amazing journalist, former journalist, an internationally acclaimed author, passionate environmentalist, and just an amazing advocate for her local community. When I first met her about we've got to do something about the trees and the environment and the development, and she's just constantly at you. She's a brilliant advocate for that. And then there's Councillor Regan White, who's passing on all his knowledge and has been a great person to serve alongside, and previously with another council at Pittwater there, and emergency services volunteer, retired school teacher, Scotland Island resident. There's not too many she doesn't know, and he's, well, just gets on again as a volunteer and does stuff. So yeah, I'm just surrounded by amazing people.
Fantastic. Well, throughout the night, we're going to play a little video of the representatives from each ward, and we'll start off tonight with our crew from Pittwater.
Hi, Michael Dencher, your Northern Beaches Independent Team, Pittwater candidate. What are two strengths that I would bring to council? Well, I'd have to say firstly, my problem solving and analytical skills. I'm very good at getting to the core of a problem and finding the solutions. Secondly, I'd have to say my leadership qualities. Not limited to, but strategic thinking, advocacy, inspiration, motivation, communication, and certainly energy, definitely energy.
I'm a good listener, and I genuinely like hearing what people have to say and how they think. The second thing I would bring to council is I really care.
Running as an independent to be the voice of my community, and my biggest fear is not matching the challenge or not even exceeding the expectation, and that's my biggest fear, is just not getting done what I'd like to do.
I have a number of fears. One of them concerns the way the campaign has changed due to this extended lockdown. So it's gone from being something where you get out and meet people and have a chat, things that I'm quite confident with, to a strictly online campaign, a digital campaign, and that I think poses challenges for people like me who are running for the first time.
First question was, what advice would you give new councillors coming onto the new council? Well, it's a very steep learning curve when you first get on council. There's a lot to learn. It's always a good idea to do a lot of asking, do a lot of listening, and you'll get there. It'll just take a little bit of time.
But yeah, books are my guilty pleasure. Reading is so important to me anyway, and during this lockdown, it's been amazing. A good novel transports me. And when you can't go anywhere, and you can barely leave your house, that's a wonderful thing to be transported.
I go and I sit in my car in the garage all by myself for peace, quiet, solitude, and that's something I really need right now. Two things that I would like to achieve on council. I would truly like to be an independent voice of my community, and that's not about speaking for my community, it's about listening to my community.
The other thing I would like to achieve is, given the extended nature of this lockdown, which has been so grim for so many people, I think one of my aims would be focusing on what people need. Are local businesses getting the financial support they need? Are people getting the emotional support they require?
Two things that I'm most proud of achieving in the time that I've been on council Well, I've been on council since 2008. The really big one for me was one of the early ones that I dealt with, which was the Church Point Plan of Management. We had to eventually come to some sort of consensus decision between it, and I think we worked out quite a good compromise in the end, but it took 35 years and it was pretty tough doing. The other thing, I'm really proud that I've been involved in that purchase of a whole lot of land and putting it into the public domain and doing that sort of thing.
What is the one thing in your life that you are most proud of? I think that relates to my first book, Almost French, and the fact that it helped people. It was not something I expected or set out to do, but I have received over the years thousands of letters and messages from readers who've said that reading my story, which is essentially a fish out of water story, made them feel less alone in a period of their lives that was difficult. And that's a wonderful thing for a writer, to know that not only has your book entertained, but it's also helped people.
What's one thing I'm most proud of? My family. Most proud of my family. My family is great, and they make me great. Thank you.
Amazing, some really passionate candidates there for the Pittwater area. And Michael, your family is so great. Sometimes you hide from them in the car, in your garage.
They're that great.
We've all been there. We've all been there, but it's exciting for you, obviously, for this campaign and running for council.
Absolutely. Thanks, James. Yeah, and I'm really honored to be in this position and grateful for all the support that's come in to this point, and I'm looking forward to the journey.
Sarah, you mentioned that you're doing this because you care. That's such an amazing motivation to get involved in your community and support it, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I'm really chuffed to be running for Pittwater Ward alongside Mike and Ian. And one of my key motivations actually is to help protect our beautiful natural environment and the distinct character of the area. And it's not just about protecting it for us and for our children and their children. It's about protecting it for everybody.
Glad to see you.
I don't know if you've just introduced me, James, because my computer's just went blank, but I think I'm on.
You're on.
All right. This is the fourth council election for me, and it's so different to everything else. And the last 2 years have been pretty hard, and I've missed you guys. I mean, seeing people on little tiny pictures on screens is not quite the same. But we've got a job to do, and that job is to make the Northern Beaches the best place it can be, and we need to do that by making sure that we don't wind up with a council that's dominated by major political parties. So let's all work together and make this an even better place to be and live. Thanks.
Amen. Thanks for that, Ian. Thanks, guys. Really great to meet you, and we'll learn more about your Pittwater Ward candidates over the next coming weeks. But we'll bring Michael back into the chat. Michael, we've got a fantastic team there. We've got 4 more teams who we're going to meet as well as we head around the council. But before we do that, Michael, you've got a lucky door prize, I believe, some voucher for a lucky viewer at home.
I do, my friend, I do. And I've got the bag here, so it's all official, it's all legit. So I'll reach in. Oh, no, I don't want a face mask. It's terrible. Try again. Here we go. I know this person. Gordon, congratulations. You're the first winner of this evening. And it's a Pittwater resident too.
Fantastic. All right. Hopefully he wins more than a dirty face mask there, Michael. But I think he might be getting a Charcoal Charlie's voucher there at Monavale. Guys, we're going to head to Curl now. And we have 3 really special candidates. Starting off Michael, with a fellow councillor.
Yeah, Councillor Sue Hines, who's I think this is her third go at being a councillor, and a very experienced councillor on our audit and risk committee. Loves the details. Was an owner of a small business. Was a Chamber of Commerce president. She's been chair of the Women's Shelter, and just a genuine good person. And the community is very lucky to have her. Is all I can say. And very wanted to learn from her and work with her.
Great.
Yeah, and then we have Louise Hislop. Sorry, Louise Hislop, straight to Lou, co-founder of Voices of Warringah, an active member of the Curl Lagoon Friends for decades now. That's where I first met her, and she's been at me ever since. And because she's an actual doer and challenges you and makes you better, and it's fantastic. Very passionate about a very healthy environment, but also a very healthy democracy. But just a huge community of advocates. I'm very excited to be able to work alongside Louise in the future. And then there's Ben Grozio, our very own Energizer Bunny, and the biggest brand ambassador, I think, for Northern Beaches outdoors, really. But he's an educator, a mentor, and just passionate about the community, technology, ideas, and the CEO of a tech startup. So it goes all right.
Great. Well, let's hear it from the team themselves, a little bit about their aspirations and just why they're excited to be part of this council election.
Two strengths that you will bring to council? Well, I believe that my two strengths are common sense, which sadly doesn't always seem to be that common these days, and also that I have an incredible passion for our community. And that's something that I think that not everybody brings when they come to council. Quite often they'll have a single issue, but in reality, what makes our place such a beautiful place to live is the community, and having a passion means understanding all different types of aspects of that community.
I'm very determined to work very hard in a dogged way, but also a consultative way to get good results. I don't give up easily. And the second one I would think would have to be integrity.
I think the two strengths I'll bring come from a mix of my background. I'm a parent, a small business owner, an educator. I also think the other thing is that I'm just a lover of everything the Northern Beaches has to offer.
I think my first piece of advice would be make sure you ask lots of questions. Nobody expects you to know everything, and trust me, you don't know everything. There's so many moving parts when there comes to council. I ask lots of questions because those staff members are passionate about the areas that they work in as well. You think you have a new idea, ask whether that idea has been tried before. I think it's really important to make sure that you find if something hasn't worked, there's the opportunity to try and find out how to make it work.
The biggest one would be making myself vulnerable, opening myself up to criticism and trolls.
My biggest fear now that I'm running for council, I don't know, getting my hair cut, wearing a tie.
I adore chocolate, and I have to admit that when I was even in my 14-day isolation recently, wonderful people did sneak some chocolate off to me.
Most people that know me know that I'm a big Seagulls fan. If it's been a good win, quite often I'll watch the replay straight away. I don't even limit myself to 2 viewings.
It's the Frank's Burger from JB and Sons in DY. Love that.
One of them is a motion that I passed a while ago now on the nighttime twilight economy. I could see that there has been issues in the past about people who want to have activities, and then you've got other people in the community who don't want to hear anything. So I thought and did a lot of research on this one. The nighttime economy would be relevant, of course, to places like Manly that are used to having quite a vibrant community at night, coming there for different things, whether it's music or activities, but knowing full well that sometimes in the suburban areas there'd be places that people would like their families to go to as well. So being able to lock that kind of down into making it permissible.
Supporting the live music industry, and so I think a vibrant live music scene is incredibly important for our youth and for life in general here. For that matter, I think live entertainment in general needs as much support as they can get. I know it's difficult in COVID times, but I think council can be doing a fair bit to support them.
To ensure that our local environment is being managed in a way which balances the huge desire to be outdoors, utilise our environment, especially since the pandemic. I'm really enthused about being part of the process to both liberate that natural resource more for the community, but also to protect it for future generations. In addition to that, I feel like there's an opportunity to refresh how we collaborate and network as businesses on the Northern Beaches.
A lot of people that don't know me well assume that I'm an extrovert, and I am definitely introverted.
Most people don't know about me. I actually don't mind singing. I'd really love to be in a band one day.
Was bringing awareness of the small business community to state and federal government.
Involvement in running Zali's campaign, and I'm very, very proud of the fact that we now have an independent, consultative.
We employed 65 casual teachers who are looking or needing additional income after losing much of it during the school shutdowns, and connected them with 100 disadvantaged children.
Amazing. Well, we've got a great mix there. Environmental, business, community, innovation, some great ideas and some great passion there. And I guess, Sue, you mentioned passion. Is that what brings you back again for another round?
Absolutely. I'm really passionate about running again and also representing the community with, and looking forward so much to running with Louise and Ben. Couldn't think of anyone better to represent Kelco. Just fantastic.
Louise, what are you most looking forward to?
Well, I'm really looking forward to connecting with the people, the diverse communities of the Kelco ward. So that includes DY, Brookvale and Narrowena. And also the volunteer groups that work so hard and being their voice on council.
And for you, Ben, I guess this is an amazing opportunity to sort of give back to the area that you love.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think most of the people in my world know I've got an opinion about everything, and but also hopefully I'm a good listener as well. So hopefully bring some of that.
Yeah, I love that. What a fantastic team, and a great diversity of ideas and worldviews that are all very passionate about this particular neck of the woods. Guys, thanks so much. We'll see you at the very end of this Zoom conference, and we'll learn more about you and give people a chance to chat to you in the coming weeks and months. Michael, we'll pull you back in again. You've got another lucky door prize, I believe, and we'll also get ready to introduce our next ward as well. I think we're going to head to Narrabeen in a second.
Holding it up high because I've had some complaints that this could be illegitimate. It's not legitimate.
You're rigging it?
Rigging it, no. Here we go, another person. This is the gift voucher for Lavotti's?
That's right, mate, yeah.
We have a Scott. I'm not allowed to say the last name for privacy purposes, but initial is D, Scott D.
Fantastic. Good on you, Scott. A great place to check into if you haven't been to there. Lavotti's in DY. All right, we're heading to Narrabeen now. And another great bunch. I guess these Narrabeen candidates are all inspired to give back to their area and also contribute to a part of the world they really love. Starting off with Ruth Robbins, Michael.
Yeah, so Ruth's got a massive amount of local government experience. She's very passionate about the community, and community services in particular is her thing. She's been very good at community consultation and more recently giving back to community boards, and it's been fantastic to watch that sort of on the sidelines, and been very active in the Ingleside development that was proposed recently and fighting against the inappropriate development that was proposed by the state government there. Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Matt Addison.
Matt Addison, local business owner, and he can tell you about his own experience about being a Coleroy Chroma striker. and administrator there. That's probably where I first met him. An aged care advocate, equally passionate about youth mental health, and is doing some great stuff there. And then Sean Moran runs his own drama school, which was for kids. Strong advocate for better youth services, particularly mental health as well in particular. Community liaison officer, assisting with the very vulnerable in our community. But one of his best passions, and one that I really want to help and assist with, but I think I've done a very good job in, is affordable housing. So hopefully we can do more.
Yeah, brilliant. This is the Narrabeen ward, Warriewood to Collaroy, up to Ingleside, and a little bit of Terry Hills as well. But that's what the map looks like. But these are what the people look like.
Hi guys, I've been asked to give you a couple of responses to some questions that I've got, so here we go.
What is the one thing you've done in your life that you're most proud of? Undoubtedly, raising my two beautiful daughters to be the resilient, articulate, independent and kind people that they are.
I would have to be my teaching business. For those who don't know, I run an arts education business where I teach drama and performance to kids. I absolutely love it so much. It makes me so proud, and I'm so proud of all the hard work and the efforts that my fantastic students put into their scripts and their performances. It really just makes me beam.
Besides my family, which is a big tick, happy wife, happy life, I'm very proud of my association with MWP Care and my volunteering that I've done with the guys at MWP over many years now.
What is your biggest fear now that you're running for council? Undoubtedly, my biggest fear is putting myself out there on social media, and I would have to say losing.
The biggest fear is one, turning into a politician. A joke, but not really. I don't think I have any fears. I've got probably more, the biggest challenge that I see is to ensure that your Northern Beaches independent team and myself deliver for the ward and the people of the Northern Beaches. So that's one thing I want to make sure that we do.
Probably just how hectic I know it's going to be, especially in that last November to early December race at the finish line. I know it's going to be really busy, really hectic, heaps of organising, probably a few trolls sprinkled along the way as well, but just taking some deep breaths. I'm honestly really excited for what's ahead. I'm sure we're going to be absolutely great.
What are two things you'd like to achieve on council? First one would be to find a solution with regarding the management of the Narrabeen Lagoon and the widening of the Wakehurst Parkway. It's really important to me to also create a strong track record for the residents of Narrabeen Ward having a voice in decision makings that affect the future of the area and that are relevant.
The first one would be a real focus on mental health and social health supports in our community, especially for youth. Now, we are really, really lucky on the Northern Beaches that we have a number of fantastic organisations and services that can really help people experiencing mental health issues. However, I think it's really important that Council does everything that it can to raise the awareness of which services are already available to us, as well as identifying any improvements that can be made in redirecting resources as well.
Secondly is to continue to grow and develop our sporting and community facilities. This is a key thing, and I think by providing new and upgraded facilities that everyone uses, keeps the community connected, keeps the community active, and we are a very active community, which I think is fantastic. So that's a strong point of mine as well that I want to continue to do the great job that your Northern Beaches independent team's already started.
What is the one thing most people don't know about you? Honestly, I'd have to say my family tell me constantly that I can't cook potatoes in any way, shape or form.
I suppose this is except my teammates that I've scored more own goals in football or /soccer than I have against our opposition. I play in the defence for the CC Strikers, and I can be seen as an asset for the opposition at times. So,
look, people know that I'm not good at sport, but what they don't know is that I really tried to be when I was a kid. I played a whole lot of sport when I was little, including soccer, where I was put into goalie so that I was, quote, not a burden to the rest of the game.
What are two strengths you will bring to council? No doubt my extensive knowledge of local government processes in equitable decision making and effective governance will assist me.
I hope to bring, I suppose, to the council a new perspective or viewpoint on current and future projects and issues, including new and innovative ideas. So I think the idea is to think outside the box a little bit and not just sort of stick within what we've known and the way it's always been done. So hopefully I can push that boundary a little bit.
I believe I've always been a very good communicator, especially when it comes to navigating those trickier conversations that, as a representative, you need to be able to find that balance between being understanding and diplomatic, but also being very strong on the important issues that matter to you.
All right, some fantastic talent there, our candidates for this particular award. Ruth, you've had a bit of experience in local government, but it hasn't scared you off. In fact, you're keen to go again.
Yeah, hi James. Hi everyone. I am keen to go again. I've had a fairly lengthy career as a staffer on local council, and I've always enjoyed working with the community and working at a grassroots level with people. So very excited about this opportunity coming up.
Yeah, Matt, you're also very excited, I'm sure. What has been the thing that has really got you most interested in running for this seat?
I think it's just having local people making local decisions. I think that's the
Right.
key. None of us here are, I suppose, what you want to call career politicians. We're here just to do it for local people. And I think that's the real reason I stuck my hand up, is to really do it, is to do that. And I've met now 15 candidates that are very diverse, but very passionate. And everyone's got one goal, which is just really to make Northern Beaches a better place to live. So it's, you know, it's a great party to be part of, and look forward to the run up to December 4.
Yeah, I think you really nailed it there. Everyone that I've met who's a part of this isn't doing it for glory or for ego or for power. They're all doing it because they really care about the area they live in, the community that they're part of, and trying to make it as great as it can be. And so I think when we talk about why people are doing it and what they want to achieve, I think there's a real shared goal amongst your Northern Beaches independent team. And I love that. And I think as people meet you guys in each ward over the next few weeks and months, I think that'll become abundantly clear that not a single member of the team is about self. It's about others. And I think, you know, that can be quite rare when it comes to the political sphere. So it's exciting to see that and be a part of it. I guess for you, Sean, you're a great communicator, as you said. What do you want to communicate if you get into council?
Also, thanks, Jason. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching as well, and thanks for your support. In terms of communicating, a big one for me, as mentioned in the video, is mental health. It's really important to communicate the services that are available to us. It's great to have a discussion, it's great to have education, but it is critical to have an ease of access. So making sure that that's communicated well would be a real priority for me.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. That's your Narrabeen Ward candidates. We'll see you guys later on in the chat tonight. But I'm sure amongst the three of them, they know pretty much everyone in the Narrabeen Ward. Michael, it's a small world, isn't it, the Northern Beaches? It's pretty much 1 degree of separation to everywhere. And I think that's why having locals who care about the community matters so much.
Yeah, 100%. Insular Peninsula, and wasn't it good what Matt said, don't want to be a politician. Good, because we don't want politicians on council, that's for sure.
Amazing. You've got a voucher there for someone in the Narrabeen Ward who has stuck around and watched tonight's launch. The lucky winner is...
Lucky winner is Hugh something E. So Hugh E.
Huey, bloody Huey, you've done it.
I knew you'd go
they
there.
want a voucher to the Black Honey Cafe in Narrabeen, so you can stop by and get yourself a short black or a macchiato or a chai latte, whatever you're into there, Huey. We're going to head to Manly now, and if I'm not mistaken, Manly is sort of Seaforth, Clontarf, Balgala, Fairlight, Manly Vale, that sort of area.
Nailed it.
Okay, great. Well, you've got three fantastic candidates. One of them's already on council, Councillor Sarah Gratton.
Yeah, look, and we're a first-time councillor, Sarah is, and I'm very lucky to have had her on council. I've always said this to people, the community's very lucky to have her. I wish they knew that, I guess, a bit more, but very experienced now. I've been up to one term, COO, so Chief Operating Officer of UNICEF, finance and business degrees, law degrees, just degree, and just a very strong representative of the state government. Just guys on her own initiative and does that, which is fantastic to see. The tunnel's been a big one for her. Chris Jackson, local bus driver, so he's got his ear to the ground, knows all the goss, knows what's happening, hears it all from the locals. He's on the union as well. He's passionate about a very healthy lifestyle. The man's trying to get rid of my fat gut, so thanks, mate. Love your work. And very jealous, though, that he's a musician, James. He's actually a musician. And then we have Piper, an extraordinary person in her own right, who wants to be an Ironwoman. So she's actually in training at the moment to be the next Ironwoman champion of Australia. Manly Lifesaving Club. The youth is just amazing. So we're very lucky to have her.
Yeah, great to see a good mix of candidates, some experience and some youth there. And let's learn a little bit more about your candidates from Manly.
Hi, I'm Sarah Gratton. I represent the Manly Ward for Northern Beaches Council, current councillor and proud member of the Your Northern Beaches independent team. I've been given some questions here to answer today, and the first one is, what are two strengths that you will bring to council? I think firstly comes from my professional background. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of UNICEF Australia, and I make sure that the numbers add up. And I'm part of the Audit and Risk Improvement Committee of Council, so it's been a very important role making sure that everything is being managed very appropriately.
The first strength is my connection to my local community. My wife and I moved to Manly about 18 years ago. We've since moved to Balgala, and for the last 11 years I've been a bus driver on the Northern Beaches.
And secondly, I'm very active in the community through my involvement in Manly Lifesaving Club and my work as a swim teacher in freshwater. So I think I will really represent the needs of the community well.
I think there's a really big learning curve with council. When you first arrive at council, you've got to learn about planning laws and waste management and all sorts of things that you've never thought about or heard about before. Secondly, is all of the meeting processes and protocols. It was like another world walking into that meeting for the first time. I'm still not quite sure about how to do points of order, but everyone's there around willing to help you. I know that Councillor Philpott and I sit together and are always prodding each other about.
Amount I have to learn, if I'm lucky enough to be elected, learning about property development, waste management and recycling, protecting the environment. But one of the reasons I'm standing is to learn more and to be part of those decision-making processes.
This is all very new to me, which makes me a little nervous, but at the same time I'm hoping this makes me more relatable to young members of the Northern Beaches community.
Sitting in bed in the morning, reading the paper with a cup of tea and doing that in bed rather than on the bus on the way to work.
Cooking and eating, which coincidentally is the same as not in lockdown.
My current obsession is banana bread, and so I've been scrolling through Instagram, finding all the different healthy banana bread recipes and testing them all out, and you will be pleased to know I think I've found a winner.
The first thing that I'm most proud of was fixing the toilet. The first motion that I put to council back in 2017 was to fix those toilets and upgrades and also the cleanliness. And since 2018, we have upgraded or built new toilets, 14 new toilets in Manly Ward. All public toilets are now cleaned every day, and there are 83,000 cleans of public toilets in a year. Second achievement is my work with transport and traffic. So I'm the chair of the Transport and Traffic Strategic Reference Group of Council. But probably most importantly has been the advocacy on the Beaches Link Tunnel. So this is the biggest infrastructure project that is coming down the pipe at us, and I've been instrumental in shifting some of the council's position from unqualified support to support subject to minimising the impact on the local community, on the environment and heritage.
I support the building of the Beaches Tunnel, but I'm really keen to see that the local residents in those areas, Seaforth, North Balgowlah, Manly Vale, are protected.
I am passionate about supporting the recovery of local business as well as implementing more programs for mental health support for our youth, an issue that is becoming increasingly significant.
I recently had a DNA test and found out that I was 50% from southern China, or at least my DNA is, and the other 20% come from Scotland.
I'm actually an Ironwoman competitor. I race for Manly Lifesaving Club, and that means that I travel around to various beaches around Australia competing. I am really proud of placing first in the state in Aboriginal Studies in the 2019 HSC as a Year 11 student, and I was so lucky to have the opportunity to chat with community members about their stories through my projects for Aboriginal Studies.
Wow, what a team we have got there. Sarah, it looks like you have really done a lot of the hard yards, a lot of the unheralded work there, but it is so important, isn't it, in the role?
Yeah, it's all of those small local infrastructure issues are just really important to people. If it's the parks, it's the state of the footpaths, the potholes in the road, the toilets. It's been huge, and just those little things are really, really make differences to people's lives every day. So it's great to be able to help on the small stuff as well as the big stuff.
Yeah, of course. I think it's both of those things that genuinely impact the quality of life for people in the area. So it's fantastic to hear for the passion you have towards them. Chris, you obviously have a deep love for the area, and this is a big challenge for you.
Yeah, thanks, James. It's a huge challenge, and it's really exciting being on the ticket with Councillor Sarah Gratton and Piper Harrison, two people that have really set the bar high. So I've really got to step up, and I'm really excited about that.
And Piper, great to have a younger candidate on the ticket as well, representing the voices of another generation.
Yeah, I'm really honoured to be running as part of this team, and I'm really excited that we have someone, I'm only 18, so someone that can really voice the concerns of the youth, because I'm in the same age demographic, obviously. So yeah, really excited and looking forward to what's to come.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's our Manly Ward candidate. Stick around, all of you, and we'll see more of your face throughout the evening. And in the coming weeks, people will get the chance through town halls and a few other virtual Zooms to find out more about you and answer some questions face-to-face or screen-to-screen as it is. Michael, what a fantastic bunch.
Yeah, fantastic bunch and very underrated, I think too. And Sarah undersells herself some of the big picture stuff that she's done. Manly Council was in an absolute mess when Northern Beaches Council took over, and Sarah and a few other councillors really got to the nut of the problem and sorted out their financial woes, shall we say. It was amazing.
Brilliant. Great to have a safe pair of hands there. Speaking of a pair of hands, I'll get one of your mitts into that basket to pull out our lucky door prize for the Manly Ward.
We have a Deb C. Deb C.
Deb, there you go, Deb. We'll get in touch with you. You've won yourself a voucher to Balance Tie. So when we can head out, maybe you can sit down, take the family there for a drunken noodles or a laksa or a pad thai or a nasi goreng. Go for it. Yeah. Oh, mate. Uber Eats. You should see my account in the last 6 weeks. We're going to head to a part of the Northern Beaches, which is very close to my heart. I grew up in French's Forest. I've lived in Beacon Hill for a long time, and now I'm back in the forest. So a good 30 of my 40 years have been spent in this area, and it's actually where you are right now. Is that right, Michael?
Yeah, I moved there as a Westie myself, and I learned very quickly that anything west of Pittwater Road, you're a Westie. It's hilarious, but you live with it and you love it because you know it's the best part of the world, it's central to everything. And so yeah, so moving back there to we've got so much to do in that area going forward with the big infrastructure projects and things happening. So it's great to be able to really build on the great work that we've already done. So, yeah.
And tell us about the team in the Frenchs Forest ward.
Well, I guess I'm heading up that team, which is great. Very honoured. And Rosalind Harrison, current Councillor Rosalind Harrison, she's hanging up the boots, so to speak, and she's done a great deal of service for the community, and we're very lucky to have her, and the community is very lucky to have had her work for us. My number 2 is Jose Menano Perez, a former councillor and deputy mayor. Worked fantastically with him in a previous iteration of Councillor Warringah. Was an IT owner, I think, in business experience, and about 40-something plus years, and a very proud granddad, I think, these days too, my friend. And Sarah Baker. Wow, what can we say about Sarah? Member of the New South Wales Civil Liberties, I think it is, so don't mess with her. Passionate about our community democracy and the community advocate, experience in the finance and healthcare sectors, and just involved in our democracy campaign. So if you're not familiar with that, Google it. That's it's fascinating. So what an amazing team.
Yeah, it sounds like a group of really powerful candidates there. This is our last ward that we're going to do a whip round of before we wrap up the night. So hopefully you've stuck with us this far. And let's have a look about an insight into our Frenchs Forest ward candidates.
What advice would you give the new candidates that might have some fears about running for council? Get over it. It is difficult. It is hard. You need some energy. You need some support, some love, some self-belief. You are, as a candidate, I know who you are, and I know how genuine and passionate you are, and how awesome and authentic you are. So make sure that's conveyed in everything that you do, which I have no doubt you will do.
What are the 2 strengths you will bring to council? Well, obviously, my council experience, local government experience as both deputy mayor and councillor at the last term of Warringah Council. That was a very successful council. And also both my large transnational company and small business experience.
The one thing I think that I would definitely be able to contribute to the council is my ability to bring various stakeholders together, even when they have quite disparate views, in order to make sure that a problem is solved.
What are 2 achievements you are proud of from your work on council?
Just 2, really. I've been giving it some thought because honestly, it's been a huge deal. When I first went in 2008, putting together the council back together, I guess, from administration was an interesting challenge, and one that we did really well with in the end. So it was a huge success, the council. We sort of do the basic things like investing in the infrastructure and getting the books right and getting the finances right, and we did that, and the most financially sustainable council in the state, and that was what we set out to. So and we were very transparent with it. People could see that and measure it, and I think that was things like that. So the infrastructure that we were reinvesting in, as we're always learning, we're always trying something different, and you can't ask for much more because the council does so much. And being independent, I guess, and this goes for just about everything. Like being independent council is great because we work with whoever's in government, not against. We hold them to account, they hold us to account, and it's a great relationship. And that's something that I've been really proud to build with all of our state and federal members and across the board. So it's been a real positive that. So I think that's probably it. Putting this council together, their response to the pandemic is probably my proudest achievement to date, I think, because it's just an amazing thing we've been able to support businesses and support our communities, and the feedback and the positive feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, I guess. So I'm very humbled by that, and our staff have done a great job. Our community are doing a good job working with us, and so I just want to say thank you for that. So it's been a team effort, and I'm proud to have been a leader in that space.
I'm very proud of having worked with my colleagues at the time to be able to renovate the Forestville Memorial Fields, including the soccer, the netball, and all that area. The new Belrose Library that we built, which has been extremely well accepted by the community. And next to the library, Lion Wattsfields, that although work is still progressing, all that started and was budgeted for at the very last Warringah Council. Very proud of those achievements.
As a first timer up for council elections, I would say my biggest fear is really putting myself out there, and especially on things like this on social media.
Well, actually, no fear at all. It's not to be feared, on the contrary. I feel excited. I feel that I'm looking forward to meet people, to address issues, and mainly to be able to make a difference.
What's my guilty lockdown pleasure? That's simple. It's going out and getting a coffee, or going down and getting hot chips. Don't tell the wife. Anyway, moving on.
My lockdown guilty pleasure would have to be Scrabble Go, which is an online Scrabble game, and I play it predominantly with my dad in the UK. It's a great way for us to keep in touch every day, especially with the differences in time zone. I usually wake up and he's made his next brilliant move. So yeah, that's my lockdown guilty pleasure.
Long list of things I would like to achieve in the next term is the true integration of the Northern Beaches Council from Manly to Palm Beach as one council, so the population, the ratepayers can actually enjoy the benefits of a larger council. And the other thing I would like to do for the next term would be to ensure that we have financially responsible, transparent and sustainable budgets. Thank you.
Great bunch there, and obviously a group that's very deeply committed to caring for the area. Ros, you're leaving, you're retiring. What an amazing journey it's been, though, and what's been your favourite part, do you think?
Look, there's too many things to list. I think the biggest thing is working with amazing people. The staff have been fantastic. Other councillors have been extraordinary. And although I am stepping down, I am still really committed to this team. And I'm really proud and excited about moving forward and continuing the partnership with these amazing people in Frenchs Forest Ward.
Jose, you mentioned the new Belrose Library and also Lionel Watts. These are the sort of facilities that at a time like this in lockdown have been absolutely integral to families and to the community to hold it together, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the important things council can do for the community and we have to do for the community. And are examples of what we've achieved in Frenchs Forest by basically working together. And that's the message that I really like to put forward to all the candidates that hopefully will be elected, how important it is to work together, because that's how you can actually achieve.
Absolutely. Sarah, you said you're a little bit nervous there about what's ahead, but when you see the calibre of people who are going to be alongside of you, surely those fears start to abate?
They do. They absolutely do. I'm really privileged to be running with Jose, Michael and Ros, because they have an absolute wealth of experience and I've got a lot that I can learn from them. So, yeah, they help me put my fears at bay. Great. Yeah, a fantastic bunch, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot from you guys in the coming weeks. Thank you. That is the Frenchs Forest Ward for your Northern Beaches independent team. We're going to get you guys to come back in just a second, but we'll have a quick chat to Michael as we wrap things up. Michael, you got one more voucher there. I think it's for Stella Blue Kitchen and Pizzeria in Glenrose. Who's the lucky winner?
It is. So up here again and out, and the lucky winner is Janine M.
Okay, good stuff.
Away. And James, before you go on, and whilst we're on Frenchs Forest, Councillor Penny Philpott is not returning to us, and she's been an amazing person to work alongside and learn from, and she's an artist. She got me into the arts on this journey of me being there back in 2008 and going forward, and I've learned a lot from her. And her and her husband were one of the main contributors and founders of Glen Street Theatre all those decades ago, and community theatre in general. So blessed to call her a friend, blessed to have worked alongside her, and we will continue to work alongside her as she puts in that art project all the way on the coastal walk. So an amazing advocate for her community.
Yeah, it just shows you how powerful the vision and the advocacy of one person in one particular area can help transform a community. We've seen that with the theatre and some of the arts projects that exist in the Northern Beaches. We're almost out of time. Thanks everyone for watching. But before we leave, we might just tell people before they go what it really is you guys want to achieve for your Northern Beaches independent team. What would be a couple of things that you want people to know about this independent team and what they should keep in mind when they head to the ballot booth?
I guess a couple of the key messages is that we are a group of independents. We work collectively with each other across the board. We've got all that experience, as you saw tonight, the skill set, ready-made, no ego, just want to represent and make decisions, learn and contribute and make a difference. And that's really important that people understand that. And it's about, you might know such and such, but it's about voting one above the line. We had to create a party so we could have our name above the line. That's the only reason we're a political party by name. Otherwise we're just a group of independents who work really well with the staff and work even better with our community. And it's amazing how we challenge each other and get the best decisions. That's why we've moved forward. So I guess in this next council, what would be great is that, coming out of the pandemic has been quite traumatic for some. A lot of businesses have not made it through. And we've got to make sure we help our community through. There's a lot of vulnerable. So, and we're going to build on what we've done and what we're doing. I'm proud of that response that we're leading with. It's library to you or whether it's the business support. So we have to build on that. Our environment stuff, we've just kind of been leading the government with their policies and we now want to embed that because everything that we do at the core of it is our future. And we need to make sure that we've got the environment stuff we've got to look after, but it's about protecting, it's about enhancing, and it's about making sure that we can do the mitigation stuff, but also fix it. So there's a lot to do in that space. And with all the infrastructure projects coming our way, courtesy basically the state government again, you kind of need us there at the table to make sure that we get the best results for the community. So I can't stress that enough. And the relationships that we've built, and I hope I made that clear in my video, that it's about working with, and we've built those relationships, and they listen to us and they work with us, and we have it's been a very dynamic and positive relationship for our community by and large. So I guess that, and making it the best organisation in the world to work for, and people are proud of it, and people can see that people want to work for it. People are proud of the organisation that they work for, but also the community are proud for it and support it. So I think that's what we have to keep working towards. And you saw 15 amazing people there that just want to give back and make sure that happens.
Yeah, I think if you look at independence at the federal level, whether it's Andrew Wilkie or Helen Hines or our own Zali Stegel, the integrity, the honesty, the diligence and the courage that they bring to decision making on behalf of their community is just really laudable. And that's the sort of spirit that I imagine an independent team at a council level brings as well. So number one above the line, your Northern Beaches independent team, and you'll be voting for another group of incredible independents. Now, it's always awkward to ask for money, but the reality is campaigns like this can't happen without donations. So big thanks to everyone who's watching on the live stream, who's donated and helped out move this campaign forward. There's lots of different ways that you can get involved and make a donation. A lot of that will be on the website. But there's flyers to print, there's mail outs to do, there's call flutes to get done up, a heap of different costs that come along with running an election campaign. Your Northern Beaches independent team doesn't have the backing of a big major party, so they don't have those purse strings or those deep pockets. So anything that you can contribute really does make a difference. And in that light, we've got a silent auction that's going on. I think we're going to try and bring up the website for that. There's a lot of great prizes there, from footy jerseys, trips away, a round of golf, or
How about the book club with Sarah Turnbull, one of our candidates?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
International
book club with Sarah Turnbull. Get involved. Money can't buy that experience. A Tesla Model 3. I know you're keen to get behind the wheel of one of them, Michael.
Hang on. I'm not giving it away, James. You can drive it, but you can't. I'm not giving it away, just to be clear about that.
All right, fair enough. We haven't quite got the budget for that. But if you want to get involved, head to 32auctions.com/ YNBT. It'll be in the Q&A, and there it is there. So if you write that
9
down
o'clock tonight.
And you can jump on board and not just win something, but also contribute to a fantastic team. If you've got any information that you want, or if you want to share some thoughts, comments, questions, you can also send us an email, info@yournb.com.au. As most of the candidates have mentioned tonight, the whole process is very collaborative and involves people within the community expressing, articulating, sharing what they want to see, what they'd like more of, what they think can be done to improve their area. So make sure you get in touch with us, info@yournb.com.au. Let's bring in our 15 candidates, Michael, from our 5 different wards. They're a fantastic bunch, and in the coming weeks and months we'll have a variety of different mechanisms. Obviously, meet and greets are probably out for the next little while, and actual in-person town halls won't be happening, but we will do a few virtual webinars where you can meet them in depth, ask them questions, pick their brains, and it'll just give you a real opportunity to get to know them better and understand just not just the depth of commitment, but also the breadth of knowledge and passion for the area that they're all going to bring. But finally, before we go, any other words, Michael? Vote 1, your Northern Beaches Independent team.
Above the line. Vote 1 above the line. Do say g'day to us when you do see us in the street, and safe to do so. We have to say that message all the time now at the moment, and as we slowly start to open up. But James, a big thank you to you and the team behind you, the team behind us, all the volunteers. And this is the best part, James. All these people are volunteers. It might look slick, and it is slick, but I guess that it's done by volunteers, and it's phenomenal. And if you can, to those out there who can donate, please do. It's one of those, I can give you numbers top of my head, but one flyer in every mailbox is, that you see from your politicians, is about $30,000. You want to know who's running, you want to know some information about them, but that comes from us, it comes from our family, our friends, and so it's a big deal. So a sincere thank you to everyone who's already contributed, to those who are going to contribute. But hey, we've got some amazing auction items too, so get your money's worth, I guess, in some regard. But James, thank you to you. Thank you, Peng, behind the scenes, but all the volunteers in particular, and these extraordinary candidates. How lucky are we to have these people wanting to serve their community? Amazing. So
an incredible bunch. And thank you for your contribution tonight. And I noticed that you thanked me and you thanked my team. I don't really have a team. I'm a guy in his garage with a laptop. And a box of crates as the stand. That's the team, Michael. This is the team.
I wasn't going to break the illusion, okay? Like, seriously. I thought Osher was there again.
I don't let him out of the workshop. Mate, it's been great to chat tonight, and I'm sure we will over the next few weeks and months as we head to the election. But yeah, there's so much integrity and passion and excitement around this team, and I'm sure you'll do really, really well. Thanks everyone for participating tonight, for everyone for watching, and all our candidates. We'll look forward to talking to you more in the coming few months as we head towards that election date on December 4. And good night.
Good night, everyone. Well done.
Good night, everyone. Thanks a lot.